Good morning, Rabbi. Daf Tzadik test today. And sponsored by Mata Steinberg for my brother's first yard site, Rabbi Rachmiel Steinberg, Rabbi Rachmiel Yosef Rachamim ben Aaron Simcha, Zeichet Tzadik Kodesh Levracha. Shalom should have an aliyah. Also sponsored by Mendel Mitz. Does anybody remember this guy? It's been a long time, from Buenos Aires. In honor of the 5th yard side of his grandfather, Isaac Mitz, Lili Nishmas, Rabbi Yitzchok ben Rabbi Shmooze. This is very heartwarming. This is from one member to the other, from Ben Schwartz in the Five Towns, in honor of Kalman, the father of the Five Towns, who's working tirelessly and relentlessly to make the Five Towns seem amazing. Now, when he says amazing, he means it, because he made an amazing siyum, Ben Schwartz, last time, together with Kalman. Please join him at Seaview Caterers for this amazing event. Seaview Caterers, no charge. Just please let Kalman or myself know you're coming. Beautiful things are ramping up. We have some very, very nice things going on behind the scenes. A lot of surprises. I want to tell you, Avram Farkovich from the Five Towns, who came with his son many times to the shir while we were doing it in Farakaway. So he came up with these amazing magnets on your car. So he wants to know who wants these. If you want them and you want to put them on your car, you know somebody that wants to put them somewhere, don't put them on your refrigerator. You don't need to know about it. You need to tell other people about it. So let us know. Contact dafbrama and we'll send you some magnets. Another amazing thing. During the siyum, we're going to have a feature. We're going to try to do a little chazara on the Masechta. Not too deep, not too, like, simple questions. And one of the questions, we're going to have giveaways. We're going to have sweatshirts and jackets and merch. MDY merch. One giveaway from our great friend Yossi Klein from Superior Plumbing in Muncie is a $1,000 trip to Eretz Yisrael, to MDY, to see the shir live. So if you know the answers, get your lechi car going, because you might win a trip. Real quickly, a very, very short email from Mendel Mitz in Buenos Aires, Argentina, saying that he's sponsoring the shir. Lili Nishmas, his grandfather, Rabbi Yitzchok, his neshama should have an aliyah. He passed away just short of his 90th birthday, and it was 6 days before he got married. He was born in London, and he went through the war, the Blitz, Mises. He had a hat company, and later on he moved to California, and it's been nearly 4 months. Right before the siyum of Shabbos, that the last time you wrote to us, I was wondering where in the world this guy is. Mendel, where were you? Okay, Baruch Hashem, he's still around. Time flies. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you for your time, effort, and dedication you have for this year, even whilst you were away traveling. You see, he's on top. He's in Buenos Aires. He knows what's going on. It's not like he just stopped in at the end of the Masechta. Especially for bothering to make and print the diagrams and sheets to help you better understanding the dafim throughout the complicated Masechta. It's unbelievable. The boy side, it's monumental. We're finishing one of the. It has the name of one of the toughest Masechtas. It's unreal. If you could please post info about the scene this coming Sunday, I look forward to finishing the Masechta together with you, the entire MDY family, and all of Klal Yisrael, and starting Or La'arba'asar with you next week. The able to give you the strength to continue your Avodas HaKodesh, being Marbas Torah, all groups of Yidden. Ad the Biaz Goyel Tedek and beyond. Yours sincerely, Mendel Mitz, Buenos Aires, Argentina. The night Zoom, really no pressure. YouTube also has its milas, like being able to watch the share at any time of the day or night, playing it on double speed, and the ability to pause and go back for clarification. Rabbi said double speed on YouTube is amazing, but if Chas v'shalom, you're a type of person that watches football, do not watch it on double speed. Not kedai. Okay, anyway. Shiurim is amazing. You know what, let's go back to the Mishnah. I know we did it yesterday, but Why not? Let's do it again quickly. Daf tzadik ches Amud Beis on the bottom. Oymed adam b'shus hayochid u'metaltel b'shus harabim. A person could stand in one rishus and carry in another rishus. Midaraisa, if you carry from one rishus to the other, you're dead meat. You get skila, whatever, chayav a karan. But if you're standing there and not moving your body and moving something in another rishus, that's okay. B'shus harabim u'metaltel b'shus hayochid and vice versa. Ubelvad shelo yoytzi chutz me'arba amos. So you're not allowed to carry 4 amos. Where? The Rishus Harabim. So it's obviously referring to the first case of Oymed Adam B'Rishus HaYochid u'metaltel B'Rishus Harabim. Make sure they don't carry 4 amos in the Rishus Harabim. Lo'yaved Adam B'Rishus HaYochid v'yashim B'Rishus Harabim. Don't stand in the Rishus HaYochid and relieve yourself into the Rishus Harabim. B'Rishus Harabim v'yashim B'Rishus HaYochid. You're taking something from one Rishus, depositing it in another Rishus. V'chein lo'yaroik. There was a word in the art scroll to describe lo'yaroik, that you need another art scroll to figure out what, for me at least, I've never heard the word. Expectorate. I don't even know how to say it. Okay, fine. So why? What? Spit. That's it. Okay, fine. You're opening up the art scroll and you're trying to understand the English and you don't understand. For people from Panovich, don't understand these words. Expectorate. You see that guy expectorating in the street. No, he shouldn't expectorate on Shabbos. In Hebrew is, I look in there because I'm a Panovich, I need to know certain words. How do you say these words in English? Yeah? Fine. Great. I took the shtuch though. V'chein le'yaroik. Rabbi Yehuda, tell me the truth. No, seriously. When was the last time you heard that word?
I never did.
You never heard the word. Okay. So why are you using a word that nobody understands? The regular yeshiva guys. Okay, fine. You're saying it's not for yeshiva guys. It's for the guys that went to college and my wife went to college. I guarantee you she doesn't know the word. Guarantee it. Zog the Gemara. By the way, seriously, I was talking to my brother and he's like, your English, you brushed up on your English. What's going on here? I didn't want to tell him. So like the art scroll. Fine. Zog the Gemara. Rabbi Yehuda Omer. Af mishenitla shurukoi befiv. So you shouldn't spit. The Tanakh says. Rabbi Yehuda says even in your mouth is a problem. Once it gathers in your mouth, you have an issue. You have a foreign object in your mouth. You shouldn't walk 4 amas. So we'll see in the Gemara. We don't really paskin in this, but let's see in the Gemara. Says the Gemara, Masli Rav Chinina bar Shlemia lechia bar Rav kamei the Rav. So Rav Chinina bar Shlemia was saying this in front of the Rav. Lo yamod adam b'rshus hayochid v'yital b'rshus harabim. This is the exact opposite of what we just read in the Mishnah. It says here, don't stand in one rishus and move something in another rishus. Don't. We just learned you could. Omalei. So Rav tells him, Shavkis Rabbanon v'avad ki Reb Meir. What are you doing? It's not right. We just learned the Mishnah. So, this is Reb Meir. We're going to learn this on Daf Kuf Aleph. Basically, a very similar idea. A person standing in a Rishus Harabim, opening up a door, it happens all the time. You're opening up the door to your house is Rishus HaYachid. Unless you build a little mechitza here, fine. The point is, it's a very similar Mishnah. And Rav thought that Rav Chinina bar Shlemia is grabbing that Mishnah. He's going with Rabbi Meir of that Mishnah versus Rabbanan. Who savar, top of that Tzadik Tes Amud Aleph, who savar mid the Sefer, Rabbi Meir Seifa, meaning that Mishnah Daf Kuf Aleph, which is very similar to our Mishnah, Reishanami Rabbi Meir. So Rav Shlemia, that is, thought that it's the same. So that's why he picked Rabbi Meir over our Mishnah. V'lohi Sefer Meir, V'reish Rabbanan. They're not the same. We have a Rabbanan here, that's Reb Meir, and we go with Rabbanan. Ubelvad shelo yoytzi chutz. So it says that if you're standing in Rishus HaYachid and you're moving an object, where's that picture? You're moving an object in Rishus Harabim. This is not a good picture. This is the reverse. But he's standing over here, and the toy's on the other side, and he's moving it. You have to be careful not to move, not to carry it 4 hours. Ha-ha'itzi, chayev chatas. So we're going to have the same exact Gemara, just with a slightly different understanding, because you could look at it both ways. It's mashma. The Mishnah tells us, be very careful. You can move things in another rishus if you're standing in another. You're standing in rishus hayachid. You can lean over a wall, move a ball. Just don't move that ball 4 amas. And what if you do? Seems like you'd be chayav achatas, misa. If you have edim and they say don't do it and you do it anyways, misa. Leimim sayel Rava. L'chayra, this is a good raya to Rava. Now, in the Mishnah, when it says Oymed Adam Rishus Hayachim and Metalta Rishus Harabim, Rashi on the spot says, if you look in the first words of Rashi in the Mishnah, Babayis Oyal Agag. He's in his house or on a rooftop. So the Gag part is important for this Gemara. The Amar Rava, and we had this yesterday. Hamaver Chayfetz Mitchilas Arba L'Soif Arba Ve'Viroi Derech Olav. Here, a guy is walking in Rishus Harabim with his hand above his head. In other words, the object that he's carrying is more than 10 tefachim above the ground. What does Rava say? Chayav. Now, above his head is a makom patur. Nevertheless, he's chayav. So, l'chayra, this is a good raya to Rava. Why? Because our Mishnah, where is he? He's on a roof, Rashi says. He's above 10 tefachim. So he's in another rishos. And even though he's in another rishos, but he moves the object 4 amas, the Mishnah says he's chayiv misa, he's chayiv a carbon. So that's mamish like Rava. Says the Gemara, no. What's your raya? Mika tanim hoitzi chayiv chadas. Where in the Mishnah does it say that he's chayiv a carbon? Doesn't say anything. It says do not move it 4 amas. That could mean something else. It could mean they are over midrabana. Doesn't say anything about a carbon. Dilmim hoitzi pater. Pater avalasar. The famous pater avalasar. It's asar, don't do it because it's the Rabbanan. Rabbanan are chayshish, you might do something. But it's not a Issa Deraisa. Iged the Amri, and some learn this whole sugya, the exact idea that we just learned, but in the reverse. Let me tell you to the Rava. In fact, our Mishnah should be a question on Rava, not an answer to Rava, not a raya to Rava. The Amar Rava. Rava says, if a person carries something above his head, 4 amos, chayiv is chayiv. And in our Mishnah, it seems like he's not chayiv a carbon, he's only chayiv midrabbanan. It says, what's the lashon? It's kind of a weak lashon. It doesn't say anything about a carbon. Just be careful, don't go 4 amos. Says the Gemara, Mikatani Haitzi Pater Velasar. The Mishnah doesn't say he's only chayiv in the Rabbanan. Maybe Bulvad is a very strong lashon. Dilme Maitzi chayiv chatas. Maybe it's the worst of the worst. You're over a dairaisa. The Kitzer, from our Mishnah, there's no raya one way or the other. Not like Rava, not against Rava. It doesn't say if he's chayiv in the Rabbanan or the dairaisa. Says the Gemara, we have some of the most interesting sugis in Shas. Daf Tzadik Tes Amud Aleph in Eruvin. L'yamid Adam Mishus HaYachid. Omer Rav Yosef. Hishtin v'rak chayav chatas. What if a person relieves himself, spits, extrapolate, whatever you want to call it, chayav chatas? Ask the Gemara a very basic question of Hilchas Shabbos. V'be'inon akira v'anocha me'al gabi mokoim dalid v'leko. We learned in Masechta Shabbos that when you lift something off the ground, it has to be lifted off something that's 4 tefachim wide. It has to be a makam chashav. Your body, your organ is not 4 tefachim, and memela you are potter. You didn't do akira. Yes, the urine landed on a flat surface of dalat tefachim, but where's the akira? What about the spit? Your mouth is not 4 tefachim either. Says the Gemara, amazing concept. Machshavtoi mishavilei makam. The fact that you enjoy, you need to relieve yourself, you need this to come out, that machshava creates 4 tefachim. We had not mamish, similar things. Your hand is like 4 tefachim. Certain areas that are chashav, something that's chashav is 4. So over here you need it. Now, Taisus points out, or let's go weiter a second. Because we're forced to say this. You're playing frisbee with a dog. Let's say you're tossing treats to a dog from Rishus HaYachid to Rishus HaRabim, and it lands in the dog's mouth, or in a fire. Now, a dog's mouth is not 4 tefachim. Why are you chayav chatas? Chayav chatas, why? Where's the 4 tefachim that we're talking about? Your intent creates a makam chashav. So Tosfos just says that if, let's say, I'm trying to stick one of those sticky things onto a pole, Tosfos says, a pole, that's not machshavta mishav makom. Machshavta mishav makom is when I need it. The dog needs to eat. I need to burn something. I need to relieve myself. I need to get rid of the spit. That's mishav makom. But now somebody's playing and he's trying to hit a pole that's less than 4 tvachim. That's not mishav makom. Boy Rava, listen to this question. Hu b'rshus hayachid upi amo b'rshus harabim ma'u. His body, his bladder, is in one rishus, and he's relieving himself in the other rishus. Basar akira azlinon. Do we view when the waste comes out of the bladder, and that happened in rishus hayachid? Or basar yitzi azlinon. Or we go by the exit. Where did it exit? It exited in another rishus. Teiku. We don't have an answer to that. V'chein lo yoroik Rabbi Yehuda omer. So in our Mishnah we just learned, Rabbi Yehuda says that you don't have to spit to be chayiv. Even if the spit is in your mouth, you're chayiv. Says the Gemara, wait a minute. There's a few things going on here. There's 3 steps. There's spit in the mouth. Everybody has spit in their mouth, and people walk all day long, which is rabbin. But it gathers in the mouth, and there's swirling in the mouth, getting it ready to exit the mouth. Says the Gemara, you didn't swirl it around. Rabbi Yehuda just said, it's, what's the lashon? Nitlash. Nitlash, it's, what's a good word? The art school has a good word. Dislodged. There's dislodge, and then there's the swirl. I'm not a great spitter, but I understand that there's dislodging it, getting it like it's there's enough of it, and then swirling it, getting like on your tongue maybe. So it could go. Now, it seems from Rabbi Yehuda, you don't need to swirl. If you're a little queasy, like Noam, maybe learn something else for a few minutes. Now, what is one of the most popular sugyas in Shas? Hechsher Tuma. We discussed this. Hechsher Tuma. The Gemara loves talking about it. Here we go again. If a person was eating a fig, the fig is food, it's in his mouth. His hands are dirty, meaning halachically dirty, they weren't washed. So his hands are metama, they're only sheni l'tuma. Real quickly, because this is not the sugya, a dead person, avi avos atuma, a rat, or somebody that touched a dead person, avatuma, they touch this, they become a rishon, whatever touches rishon becomes a sheni, it keeps on going down, shlishi. Now, the only thing a sheni could make tameh, your hands that are tameh because you didn't wash them, the only thing they can make tameh is food that's truma. Truma food. Right over here, truma. Kachim. Kachim even less. A shlishi can make kachim tameh. Great. So what we have here, we have fruit that's truma in a person's mouth. His hands are tameh, and he sticks his hand into his mouth. Now, in order for a fruit to become tameh, it has to have hechsher tuma. It has to be sprinkled with one of the sheva mashkim. One of them happens to be, you can't say expectorate, whatever. You can't say that here. One of them has to be, one of them is spit. Now, very interesting shayla. Spit in your mouth should be like part of your body. It's your body. Blood is one of the mashkim. But if you have food inside your digestive system that touch blood, obviously it's not, right? So at what point does the spit become a mashka? Says the Mishnah, he felt something, he's biting into a stone. You got to get the stone out. He didn't realize, his finger, which is tummy, is touching the fig. Rabbi Meir metama. Rabbi Meir says that the spit in your mouth is one of the mashkim. It's already there. Rabbi Yosi Matar says, what are you talking about? It's part of your body. It only becomes a mashka once it leaves your body. Rabbi Yehuda says, beautiful. I like Rabbi Yehuda personally, but who am I? Rabbi Yehuda Omer, hipach ba'atame. Depends. If you swirled the spit, so now it's like basically out of your body already. It's ready to go any second. Then it's a mashka. So Rabbi Yehuda is of the opinion in Mesechtes Klayim that in order for spit to be considered gone out of your body, it had to be swirled up, not just dislodged, swirled, dislodged, beautiful word. How would a Panovich come up with such a word? You need that, you see what I'm saying? That's why you need a dislodged. So we have dislodged or swirled. In Kleim it says swirl, in Eruvin it says dislodged, nitlash, dislodged. Omer Rabbi Yochanan, muchlefes hashita. So this is very interesting because most of the time, I would have to say most of the time, I'm not a big mumcha in Shas, but as far as I remember, muchlefes hashita usually means you switch around. Rabbi Meir becomes Rabbi Yehuda, and Rabbi Yehuda becomes Rabbi Meir. Not over here. Muchlefes hashita says Rashi, Rabbi Yehuda retracted. Later on in life, he retracted. In Kalayim, so basically he retracted Eruvin. Eruvin is a mistake, according to Rabbi Yehuda. He started off his life saying that all you need is dislodge in Eruvin. When he got to Kalayim, Muchleves HaShita, he switched his own Shita, and he said that you need to swirl. Rish Lakish Omar, Loilam Loi Tachlev. It's very hard to say. He retracted. Vachav Ma'eskinon Bikicha. Here we go. There's something else called phlegm. Now that's really gross. That you got to get out of your system immediately. If anybody ever had that, it's in your mouth. It has to go. You can't even drive for 10 seconds. You got to find something immediately, tissue something, right? So in Mela, it's not in your body anymore. Even if it's in your mouth, it's not considered in your mouth. Spittle could stick around a little bit. It's not a problem. Votanyo, Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Rashi says it comes from coughing. He says limon, I think, whatever the lashon is, it means you're sick. It comes from sickness. Fine. Votanyo, Rabbi Yehuda Omer, kichoy v'nitlash, the phlegm, and it was dislodged, my love, roik v'nitlash. So also spit dislodged. Loi. No, it's a little hard to understand what the Gemara wants exactly because where does it say anything about spit? Okay, I think they're the same. Loi, kichoy v'nitlash. Only phlegm is dislodged, but spit needs to be swirled. They're different. Votanya Rabbi Yehuda Omer kichoy shenitlash v'chein roik shenitlash. Okay, checkmate. It says mefurish, they're both in the same category. Before it said one, so I could say maybe the other one like this. Over here it says both of them together. You have phlegm, you have spit, and they were both dislodged, not swirled. So what are you telling me? We're talking about swirled. He took it back. He didn't take it back. So Mela lo yahalach dalad amas at shiyaroik. You're not allowed to walk with it. Elo machvarto kedeshanim ma'ikara. Rabbi Yehuda took it back. Later on in life, he said it has to be dislodged, swirled. Now, lahalacha is brought down that there's a difference between spit and phlegm. Spit, you have to swirl it in order to be over. So if a person swirls the spit in his mouth, he should not walk 4 amas in Rishus Rabbim. Very important halacha. And phlegm, you don't even have to swirl it. Once it's dislodged, let's say it comes into the mouth, you're done. You have to get rid of it. You can't walk 4 amos. Says the Gemara, Omer Shlakish, Kiach b'fnei Rabbi. What if a person does this phlegm thing, goes and spits it out in front of his Rebbe? Chayiv Misa. He's pashat, he's Chayiv Misa, he brings Misa upon himself. Why? Shenemar kol misanai ohavu maves. All my haters, they love death. Al tikri limasanai, elo limasniai. A person who causes other people to look down at Torah is Chayiv Misa. When people see a Torah Yid doing something disgusting, so they look down on Torah. It's a major concept in life, major concept. Some people, they think that they're doing the right thing or whatever it is, and other people look down at them. That looking down at them, they have to be considerate to what other people look down at them. You can't say, well, I'm doing what I think is right, because if it's lahalacha, great. But if they're not lahalacha and other people look down, and because of them, Torah goes down in other people's eyes, they're being over on this pasuk of Lemasniyai. And if you look at Rashi, very interesting Rashi here. Rashi says, Kol misanai ohavu maves. Torah amra lahaikra. The Torah is saying this pasuk. In other words, very interesting. Rashi is saying that somebody that teaches Torah, he is the Torah. He's a shtick Torah. And when you gross him out, you're grossing out the Torah. That's what. How does it jump from L'Masana HaKadosh Baruch Hu talking to that you're Chayv Misa if you gross out a Rebbe? Because the Rebbe is Torah. Torah Amra. Fine. Zog the Gemara. Says the Mishnah. And we're by Mishnah. Shalom Aleichem, Reb Simon Bergen. Shalom Aleichem. The Clifton Yidazan. You should know that's a big zach. The Clifton Yidazan. He's usually a night guy. Shalom Aleichem. Mark Struhl. Who else? Shmuel Vefer. Shalom Aleichem. I don't see a lot of the people here. I don't see their faces. Gewaldig. Okay. Great. Mordechai Aaron. Yes. I'm listening.
You're not up to the Mishnah yet.
I'm not? Oh, me. You're right. V'ha meinas ones. Ask the Gemara. At the end of the day, what is this guy supposed to do? Why is he chayiv misa? He had a bunch of stuff in his mouth. It came out. What is he going to do? He's sick. He has a cough. Says the Gemara. Keach v'raka amrina. He shouldn't spit it out in front of his Rebbe. Very good. Turn around, grab a tissue, a handkerchief, whatever you got. But don't do it right in his face. That's the problem. Okay, so now we're holding by the Mishnah, so we can go back there. Official from Official Catering, Shalom Aleichem. How are you? Okay, now we can go back there. Says the Mishnah, now we have something different. Before we were saying you're standing in Rosh Hashanah, you're moving a toy in Rosh Hashanah. Now it's different. He is standing in a Rosh Hashanah and drinking in Rosh Hashanah. I just added the shtick of whiskey, whatever. It was a little different, the picture, when I started out. But the point is the same. It doesn't matter if it's whiskey or water. Don't be leaning out. Now, what's the problem? Because you might bring the cup back inside with you. You might bring the drink inside. The same problem in reverse. You're standing in Rosh Hashanah, you wanted a quick drink, you're going somewhere, somebody passes you a drink, you can't. So unless you stick your entire body, most of your body, your head, out the window, then it's okay. Gas is where they press the grapes. The Gemara is going to explain, we're talking about meiser. So we'll get there, we'll describe it. Says the Gemara, if you want to see what gas looks like, just so as we're learning the Mishnah here, this is a gas. The halacha applies to this as well. If a person is drinking over the wine press, for whatever the halacha is, if Roisha Veruba, here's his head and most of his body is in, great. Reisha asked the Gemara, Reisha Rabbanon, that if you the Mishnah we had in the morning, just a few minutes ago, you're standing with a toy in one rishus and your body in another rishus, you're saying, according to Rabbanon, it's okay. V'seifa Rabbi Meir, and all of a sudden when it comes to drinking, it's like that Mishnah Daf Kuf Aleph, that it's usher to open up a door, you're not allowed to use a key if you're in Rishus Rabbim and the doors are in Rishus HaYachid. Why is a drink different? Obviously we're going like Rabbi Meir. And that's very problematic. You'll have back-to-back Mishnayos. One Mishnah goes according to Rabbanon, the other one goes according to Rabbi Meir. Not good. When a person is thirsty, he needs it according to Rashi. So we're concerned he's going to grab it, he's going to forget where he's at, and he's going to bring the chayfetz with him, and that's asur. Ibaylu karmelis mai. What if he is standing, let's say, in a karmelis? It's nishtahi nishtaher. It's not a Rosh Hashanah, not a Rosh Hashanah. It's not tentfachim, whatever it is. He's in a karmelis and he's drinking in a Rosh Hashanah. Or in Rosh Hashanah, or vice versa. What's the halacha? Omar Abayo hihi. Same halacha, it's also. Omar Rava, he gufik zera. What's a karmelis? Karmelis is an unknown rishus. It's not Rosh Hashanah, not Rosh Hashanah. Rabbanan said don't carry in a karmelis because you might come to carry from one rishus to the other. You might confuse it. So Rabbanan are going to do a double gzera. Don't carry in the karmelis because you might come to carry from Rosh Hashanah to Rosh Hashanah. And don't lean your body out to Rosh Hashanah from a karmelis because you might come and bring the cup into the karmelis and then you might carry in a karmelis. That's a double-double. Abaye ignores a double-double for whatever reason. One of the first things we learned in Masechtas Shabbos on Daf Beis Amud Aleph, Haitzah. The concept of carrying is a malacha grua. It doesn't even make sense. Carrying, like what did he do? He didn't do anything. He didn't create a new thing. He moved something from here to there. Every melach in Shabbos, he ground something, he cooked something, he cut something. He took this and he went like this. Malacha grua. So in a malacha grua, one of the answers is, in a malacha grua, you have to be very makbid. You have to make a new chumrah because people are going to make fun of it. Just carrying. So maybe they were makbid in Xera. One pshat. Other pshatim and toises. Omar Abai. Mina aminallah. How do I know that I'm geyser from Carmelis to Rosh Hashanah, let's say? B'diktani, and now we're turning, sponsored by the Austin and Tobias family. We'll change it up a little bit. We'll go Tobias and Austin first. By the grandchildren, L'zeich Nishmas, our Bubby, Zissel Bas Chaim, Shom Shadav and Aliyah, in the memory of my mother, Shendel Bat Aaron Hirsch, and Bracha, by her son, Dr. Alan Listow. Says the Gemara, listen to this raya. V'chein begas. When the Mishnah tells us a brand new case, what's the difference? We already said, he's in, where's that? Here, this one. He's in Rosh Hashanah, he's drinking in Rosh Hashanah, and this. Why add it? Obviously, says Abaya because it's a completely different case. This is Carmelis case. That's Rosh Hashanah and Rosh Hashanah. I'm giving you a third case called Carmelis. V'Rav Omar Le'inyan Meiser. We're not even talking about Shabbos. We're talking about Meiser. Obviously, the halacha is you have to be mafresh trumas for Meisers. When you're done doing whatever you need to do, you have to smooth out the kri. And when it comes to grapes, you have to be done with the whole pressing process. Then you're chayiv. Now, if you drink like a snack, it's not a kavua dika drink. It's not a permanent drink. What's the good lashon? It's not a whatever the lashon. Oh yeah, there is a word. It's not a casual drink. So if it's casual, you don't have to take a meiser. So we're talking about leaning over a pit, like a guy that like Esav. He can't control himself. He leans over, drinks. Half of it goes back into the pit. Disgusting. Casual. Not chayv meiser. V'chein Omar Rav Sheishes v'chein begas linya meiser. We are in fact talking about a gas. That what? That the Mishnah is telling us that you must be roisha v'rubai over the gas. Casual is not just your head, your lips over the pit. Your whole body, most of your body is over it. Then it's casual. It's not. Shoisam ala gas. I have a shtickle kichoy. I don't want to talk about it though. Hold on a second. Fine. V'chein Amar Rav Sheishes v'chein begas. Now, finally, I can tell you what's going on. For 6 months, I got this one thing. It's not dislodged. It's in the process of being dislodged. V'chein begas linya meiser. So the last 2 words in the Mishnah, v'chein begas, talking about meiser, not talking about Shabbos. It's not. Shoisen ala gas. I have all the pros. I have Avrumi Leibowitz that I forgot to call. He actually has some good eitzes. And I have Simon. Where's Simon? I haven't seen him. Maybe he's still on his bike somewhere and then doing his bike ride. They have eitzes, how to dislodge it, how to this, and I shouldn't eat this after this hour, that hour. Kids are, one day we'll figure it out. It's not. Shoisen ala gas, bein b'chamim, bein b'tzoyin upator. So, if you dilute the wine, right? In the time of the Gemara, they had to dilute the wine, 1 to 3, whatever the shear is, rub this one, that one. Diluting the wine, no longer casual. However, machloikis here. Shoisen ala gas, bein b'chamim, bein b'tzoyin. What if you diluted it with hot water, cold water? Is there a difference? Yes, there's a difference. Why? Upator. Divrei Rabbi Meir. So we're going according to Rabbi Meir. It doesn't matter diluted, not diluted, cold, not hot. You put it for Meiser. Rabbi Elazar Tzadik Mechayev. Why? Because once you dilute the wine, that's it. It's a finished product. It becomes kavua. What happens is, if you pour hot water into your entire vat over there, whatever it is, your entire press, you're going to ruin everything. The heat is going to destroy your wine. So you're going to be very careful not to pour back. So you're a shtickl chazer, you took wine, you drank, and when nobody's looking, you pour it back into the pit, Shalom Yisrael, everything's good. But you won't do that with hot water, because that's going to destroy the wine. So Mamela becomes more of a kavua. You took it out for good. It's not just a casual drink, and putting the rest back. Putting the rest back shows that it's casual. Not putting it back So Chacham make a distinction. Al Chabim and Chayiv. Then it's already Kavua, you Chayiv Meiser. Tzayin and Potter. And if it's cold, you're Potter Mipnei Shemachzir Sam Meiser, because you're going to put back the rest. Another Mishnah, Reb David Osborne, Nachum Katz, who just turned on his thing and went somewhere else. And here he is, Shalom Aleichem Reb Nachum. And my amazing neighbor, Reb Avram Epstein, Dr. Epstein, Simcha Leib Stein, Joe Berry, Shalom Aleichem. Okay, great. How you guys doing? I'm going to say this and I'm going to say it again. I cannot prepare a shir if you guys aren't here. If I was just learning by myself, talking to myself, it wouldn't happen. So every single person here is a chelik of the shir. It's a team effort. I'm not just saying it. It's a mitzias. And when this Mendel Mitz guy disappeared on me for 4 months, something hurt me. I'm not saying I prepared less, but there's something like, where is this guy? Did I really, what? Because I'm Litvish, that's it. And he's Lubavitch. What's going on here? Says the Mishnah, Koilet Adam min HaMaschilo lemato ma'asara tfachim. Yes.
Moshe Hamburg, one of our watchers, is making a board tonight. His daughter just got engaged.
Ooh, Mazel Tov. MDY Simcha. Unbelievable. I have to tell you, I hope my brother doesn't watch this. My brother made a vart yesterday. And my brother, my sister-in-law with the whole disease and what she went through the whole year, terrible. And she's immunocompromised, the whole thing. And he couldn't control himself. He made a vart in a hall, the whole thing. I don't know what's going on in New York. I'm upset at him. I got to say this. I'm sharing with you. I don't know what's going on. So control, Rabbi Isai, Ramosha. You don't need to make a vart in a hall. Forget about it. It's better. People are nuts. Pictures, beautiful. Nobody's wearing a mask. Kilu, there's no corona. Yet the Rosh Yeshiva for Rockaway, when I was there, was in the hospital on a ventilator, I think he was, Rabbi Yeager and Rabbi Kalish. They were mamish like atat. And you're talking about 2 weeks ago. There's no problem in New York. Zok the Mishnah. So we have a maschela. Maschela is what we call a gutta. You guys know what a gutta is? Yeah. If you're from New York, the Olam knows what a gutta is. You talk like the gutta. Gutta is a universal word. But anyways, this is the gutter that catches the rainwater off the roof. Okay, horizontal pipe. Then you have, the other pipe is called a tzinor. I'm a chulik on the art scroll. I don't know why, I didn't see this anywhere. I call it a downspout. So I'm putting downspout. They want to call it, I don't know what they call it, a pipe. I looked it up. Not the right word. Sorry, I'm in construction. This is a downspout. I might be wrong though, because they know what they're talking about 99.9% of the time. But in this case, I'm chut. Fine. So koila means to catch. Once the water leaves the maschela, once you see, it's dripping down, he puts his pail over here, catches the water. And he's standing in a Rosh Hashanah. The water is hanging in the air. So he grabbed it out of the air. So it's not that he took something from Rosh Hashanah into Rosh Hashanah, because it's traveling. He happens to be, below 10 tfachim. Below 10 tfachim is Rosh Hashanah. Not a problem. And if you have this pipe, I will just say it now. This, as you see, and they did a good job here, it's more than 3 tefachim away from the wall. And that's very important. That is the difference between this pipe, the maschela, which could be right next to the wall, right, and it could be considered a roof. It's part of the roof. It's a reshus hayachid, versus this right over here is not a reshus hayachid because it's away from the house. And memelo, there's no lava to the house. Great. And it's below 10 tfachim, everything is great. Says the Gemara. Yeah, but what do you mean? But this is not the wall. Why is this a wall? The outside. Yeah, but the pipe is away from the wall. Where does the water, This is within 3 tfachim of the house. No, it's not touching the wall. It's, you know how water falls off the roof? It just goes off the roof. It's not like dripping down. This might not be a good picture. It's off. He's not going to drink water that touched the wall. It comes off the gutter right into his kli. Says the Gemara, koilet in ava mitzaref loy. If you put your mouth to it, or you put your kli directly on the pipe, no good. My time, Omer of Nachman, hacha b'maschilo pachos mishalosh samach legagas skinon. Now, even though this pipe, let's say, this guy, is less than 10 tefachim to the ground, let's say, nevertheless, it has a din of Rishus HaYachid. Rishus HaYachid has to be 10 tefachim high, and this is not 10 tefachim high. It is Rishus HaYachid. Why? Because it's part of the roof, and the roof is Rishus HaYachid. They call Pagim Shleisha, Samach Legag, Kigag Dami. The Nez Halacha of Rishus HaYachid. Now, he is standing in Rishus HaRabim, and he's putting his mouth on Rishus HaYachid. He's taking from Rishus HaYachid to Rishus HaRabim. If it jumps off the pipe, it travels off the pipe, so it's not a Rishus HaYachid anymore. It's traveling. I grabbed it in midair. I'm in Rishus HaRabim, I'm in Rishus HaRabim. The water is Rishus HaRabim. But if I take the water off of Rishus HaYachid and I'm standing in Rishus HaRabim, now I just committed a crime. The Kabbalah just says, Lashon. The Kabbalah is in Gimel, Samach Legagi Gagda. Tayin Ame Hachi. And now we just say the same thing basically. You could stand in Rishus HaYachid and raise your hand above 10 tefachim. Lepachis b'shleisha samach lagag v'koilet, less than 3 tefachim from the roof, and you grab it. Ubavad shelo yitzaref. So Rashi learns you're going from Rishus HaYachid to Rishus HaYachid. Whole Taisus here, does it go according to Reb Shimon that you could go from one Rishus HaYachid to another Rishus HaYachid? Fine. Problem is you're going from one Rishus HaYachid to another Rishus HaYachid without an Eruv. Although Reb Shimon says you can go from one gag to another gag, fine. Ayin and Taisus. Tayin yidach. Lo yamid adam Rishus HaYachid v'yagbiya yodei l'mala masar tefachim. Don't stand in Rishus HaYachid and raise your hand above 10 tefachim. L'pachos mishalosh samach l'gag v'yitzarev, and less than 3 tefachim from the rooftop, and be right there, touch it with your mouth, with the kli. But you're allowed to grab it out of the ear. Fine. Now if you have this pipe, this downspout, you have a downspout, you're allowed to grab from the downspout. Also. Now if it's 4x4, it's a huge, I've never seen, actually yes, which reminds me of Maisa, we had in one of my properties, we had a giant, I think it was decorative, and what we didn't realize is that there was a lot of snow and ice. There was an ice buildup. I'm just remembering now. Tremendous ice buildup, and was causing major damage during the snowy season. So we had a guy come with a crane. No, first it was with a ladder. That's what happened. They put ladders up, and they were breaking the ice. We're talking about chunks of ice that were like 10, 15 feet tall by 3-4 feet wide. Breaking the ice. And at one point, I saw this with my own eyes. I might have even taken a video. I don't think so. The guy broke the ice, and the ice fell, but it knocked his ladder down. And the guy almost died. The kids are very, very big problem. But fine. The point is, where do you have a 4x4, even in our property? I don't think it was 4 tefachim. Maybe it was 4 tefachim. Fine. 4 tefachim. A pipe like this. If you have a pipe like that, then the pipe becomes a carmelis to another rishos, to Rishus HaRabim. Now, if the pipe is above 10 tefachim, it's 10 tefachim tall, then it's Rishus HaYachid. If it's above 10 tefachim and less than 4 tefachim, what is it? A makom p'tur. It's also problematic to take from makom p'tur to Rishus HaRabim. So Mamela, we're talking about it's below 10 tefachim, less than 4 tefachim wide, then it's okay. Says the Mishnah, wow, we're late. If you have a pit in Rishus HaRabim, I think that unfortunately, I did. Here we go. There's a pit with a rim around it that's 10 tefachim. So when you're in this window, you could fill in. Why? What's this pit or Rishus HaYachid? What are you? Rishus HaYachid. Rishus HaYachid had a problem. What if you have a pile of garbage in the middle of Rishus HaRabim? You could take from Rishus HaYachid and pour it onto the pile, which is Rosh Hashanah. Says the Gemara, "B'maya skinon ilema besmucha." If this pit is right next to the wall, lama lichulya asara. Why do you need this? Why does it need to be raised? If it's not raised, it's also a Rosh Hashanah. Why? Because the pit is 4 tefachim wide, 10 tefachim deep. It's a Rosh Hashanah. So why do I need a wall? You're right. There is a distance of 4 tefachim from the wall. Since it's 10 tefachim tall, so what does that become? A makayim p'tur. It's a middle of nowhere. It's not a Rosh Hashanah anymore. Rosh Hashanah has to be below 10. This is above 10. So it's not a Rosh Hashanah anymore. Memela, it's okay. But if you have less than 10 tefachim of dirt on the side, now I just carried through the Rosh Hashanah because there's 4 tefach distance to get to the pit. Even if it's close by, what's going on here? You have, let's say, 5 tefachim down below the ground. You have 5 tefachim above the ground. Together, they create a reshus, and I wouldn't know this without our Mishnah. Should we go weiter, Noam, or stop here? It's a good 2 minutes? Okay. Ashma Rosh Hashanah says the Gemara, if there's a pile of trash in Rosh Hashanah, you're not concerned that the garbage truck is going to come and take it? The next day you're going to stick your hand out the window to pour your shayfchim. You're not going to realize it's gone. And you're just over from going from Rosh Hashanah to Rosh Hashanah. If you put it on a pile, it's another Rosh Hashanah, it's great. A story, an Eruvin story. Here's the story. We have a Mavoi Sasum. In other words, here's Rosh Hashanah. Over here it's closed. But on both sides, not the sides that are important to the Mavoi, but the sides that contain the Mavoi, one is the ocean, one is a pile of trash. At the end of the day, you could carry here. So what's the problem? We are concerned that somebody's going to remove the trash, and people won't know. They won't realize that every Shabbos they carry here, they don't realize that somebody moved the trash. And the water will recede. You'll have a bunch of sand. Sand is not a good mechitza. Sand slopes nicely. It's not a mechitza. It's not a wall. So how come he didn't say it's also to carry there? The kaime mechitza is at the end of the day, right now, today, it's mutter to carry. So you don't want to say that it's also to carry because you have good mechitza. You don't want to say it's mutter because mechitza might go away. But at the end of the day, we see that there's a problem. You have to be concerned that maybe the trash will be removed and you won't know. The story of Rebbe, what happened when a single person lived in this mavoi. So nobody's going to remind him. The rabbin, people will remind each other, and therefore it's okay. Have a wonderful day. Amen. Shkeach Rabbi Sai. Thank you, David. What's the special bracha atzlacha today? Mazel tov, mazel tov. How old? How old? You allowed to tell us? 44. Psh. Wow. Shkoyach, thank you, David. Mazel tov, mazel tov. David, you know what the rule is? You're supposed to sponsor 3 shiurim in a row when it's your birthday. There's no freebies here. The freebie is the shear. The rest is up to you. That's right. Where's that magnet? Where did I put it? Look at this. Unbelievable. Look at this. It's mamish cool. It's a shield. It will shield you. What about the YouTube? Oh, I forgot. I'm supposed to pick up. Somebody was telling me I'm supposed to pick up my things a little that's higher. I forgot.